What's good, people? Agent Juice reporting for duty, and today I want to show you my axe. Yes, this video's subject today is about fighting and how much I love fighting, and not the crazy person assaulting people on the streets fighting, but the concept of like the honorable warrior, right? So this video is being filmed in my room right now, and I'm speaking quietly because my roommates are sleeping, and I didn't want to bring an axe out in public and have people freak out about it. So my experience with fighting began, as with pretty much everything that I love, at a young age. I did karate, taekwondo, and then eventually kung fu in elementary school, middle school, and high school, respectively. Then I went to college and I got into basically lifesteal combat. In fact, this is a Viking style axe that is used alongside a shield. And the group I was fighting with is called Jomsborg. It's an international historic martial arts dealio, and I was part of the Boston Viking Irish chapter, which that was a blast. I would love to do it again, but there's no chapter out here in LA, and yeah, I mean, I could start one, but then I would have to start one, dedicate my time to do that, and I just don't have that kind of time. But the thing I love most about the concept of martial arts is that it is the epitome, like I believe it is the epitome of the idea of the absolute achievement of humanity. This perfect blend of mind, body, and spirit taken to its absolute extreme. Like really seeing how far you can go, how physically disciplined you can be, how focused you can be, how in tune with yourself you can be. And I just love that, I mean, as a young kid, yeah, I loved the idea of being a big old tough guy who can, kick people's asses. But, that's more just like being a thug, like just being enamored with harm is not like a healthy mentality. But I believe that the concept of the disciplined martial artist is something everyone should really kind of strive to be, and not necessarily in a warrior kind of way. I mean, you could be the master of your craft. I mean, the word, if I'm not mistaken, kung fu, or I guess two words, like the idea of kung fu is not the actual fighting art, but it's the idea of the mastery. Like, if you ever see those videos of those people who are like super good at their job, and they can make noodles like by twirling them around and like slapping them down, they do this crazy stuff. That's like kung fu, that is that mastery of your craft. And to kind of tie it into the whole Hollywood thing, one of the things I would love to be able to do, of course, is to master my craft, my story craft, my writing, artwork, in the sense that it like aids the story craft. And I think that everyone should try to do that, and if you kind of really apply that sense of ultimate discipline and like kind of ultimate achievement, you can come up with some crazy stuff. Think of like Stanley Kubrick, for example. He's widely considered one of the greatest directors of all time, and this man was a meticulous genius. There's a story, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's one of those stories they tell about him during the filming of Eyes Wide Shut. There's a scene that takes place where Nicole Kidman, I think it's Nicole Kidman, correct me if I'm wrong, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise are the main characters, and they're in their bedroom. And it's a bedroom scene, and they were using like Christmas lights basically to light the scene. And one day Stanley Kubrick walks in and he just stops everyone and goes, "Wait a minute, something is not right with this lighting." And everyone was just kind of looking around confused, but this is Stanley Kubrick we're talking about, he's the director, we got to find out what's wrong with the lighting. And sure enough, one single Christmas light bulb was out. That's it, just one little bulb. And they changed it, and then he was like, "All right, we're good, let's do this." So it's just like, man, Like, I mean, you could call that, like, you know, what is it, OCD, but I mean, this guy's craft was so honed that he could tell these minute differences in his shot, and if they weren't absolutely perfect, he wouldn't do it. You know, he's famous for doing a bajillion takes for, you know, at the great chagrin of the many people who worked with him. But I mean, you know, if you don't want to be a slave driver about it, you know, there are other aspects in your life. I guess you can kind of apply that idea of the warrior's discipline to, and it doesn't have to be fighting. Obviously, it can be any part of your craft, and that's kind of the ultimate takeaway of me loving fighting is that the fighting part really is nothing more than kind of what everyone thinks about when they think of the disciplined martial artist and like the person who has honed themselves to the absolute, you know, pinnacle of humanity, that wise man on the top of the mountain kind of thing. And so that is a very admirable thing for anyone, whether or not you're doing the whole Hollywood gig, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for today. So, you know, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, the bell, the ham and a ham and a ham. I mean, you guys get the point here. Comment below if you want to, you know, interact, or you have a question, you want to say something. If you know, like these I Love series videos, or if you hate them, you know, let me know. As usual, I shall shill my beloved Teespring shop, where you can go ahead and click the link to the intro video, which takes you to the shop. And I always do that because the YouTube algorithm, and, you know, thou shalt bow to the algorithm. All right, enough rambling. I'll see you guys next video. I hope you guys stick around. And until then, deuces.